Some economic news now. 2023 has been challenging for the global economy, not just South Africa, from rolling blackouts here at home, greylisting, the rand, interest rate hikes, among others. Even tonight, we're asking you what you're removing from your festive season budget, just to talk about how tough things are. Let's now speak to SABC News Economics Editor Tshepo Mongoai, who joins us live now. Tshepo, what a year it's been.
It's been a journey.
What a year it's been, especially when you think about the fact that one of the big issues that we had were the rolling blackouts and the impacts that has had on the economy. And I wonder, right now, this week, we're not having them. And a lot of people are saying we may pay the price come January.
It's just that you never know what's going to happen next. So it's a big challenge. But the interesting one is the stage 8 and the grid collapse that we're talking about. And that kind of triggered a panic even among the corporates. And the Reserve Bank, we were told, we're working with the private sector to prepare should we experience that grid collapse. And there were very strong voices that we are very close to the grid collapse, and government doesn't want to come out clean and tell us when is this grid collapse is going to happen. And one of the challenge was that Caesarea at some point, because it's something that it's difficult to price. And some of the reinsurers, they just did not know how to price it as a risk. And as a result, there were statements that perhaps they're not going to cover certain things that might be triggered by a blackout or a grid collapse if that happens. But they did maintain that, but they'll maintain some of the covers under blackouts or rolling blackouts, so to say.
And, you think about just the cover, you think about the rolling blackouts, but there's something that South Africans still continue to talk about even to this day, the interest rate hikes that we've seen, and just the difficulties that also posed for some of the consumers, some defaulters as well. Let's talk about the difficult path to where we are right now and what the forecast may look like on that front.
The journey started when 2021, end of 2021, when the bank started hiking interest rates. And of course, at that time, there were questions asked, why is the bank doing that? Because remember, they were ahead of the curve. Most of central banks, they were not hiking interest rates, but there were very clear signs that inflation expectations were higher. There's something that's coming, although in South Africa, it always comes, 3 times fourfold. But then again, interest rates, the impact is immediate. You feel it immediately once there is a hike. The bank maintained that they need to act, they must act, because the inflation is increasing and they expect inflation to continue, and they must make sure that there are no second round effects, that inflation is anchored. Because remember that it has a snowball effect, inflation. If you're feeling it, you're going to go to employer and ask for more, and employer is going to charge service providers start charging whoever, and then you have the second round effects in inflation, and it becomes completely spread in the overall economy. Although I must say in South Africa, because of multiple issues that consumers are facing, there come a time where consumer can only take that much. Even the producers and retailers that are pushing prices because they are facing higher cost, they come a time where they realize that they can't push beyond that, because if they do that, they can't sell the product, so they must compromise their margin and bring them down. But I'm sure South African retailers have been creative to find ways of getting around that.
And one certainly hopes that they'll continue to be creative as people are now making plans for the festive season. But another buzzword this year was greylisting, the impact of being greylisted. It's coming, it's not coming, it eventually comes. And then people are saying, we're going to be seeing so much happening in our institutions, we're going to feel it, everybody is going to feel it. Have we felt the impact of the greylisting?
You see, in South Africa, I don't know, is it the resilience of the local economy, or maybe we say a lot of things. I remember back in the years when we excluded from the global bond index, WIGBI, there was a lot of talk that, South Africa, then the cost of borrowing is going to go through the roof. But when that happened, it wasn't that significant, and then we were told no, it's been priced in long time ago. Similarly with the financial with the greylisting, when the Financial Action Task Force team, that there were expectations that this is going to affect us, our cost of borrowing, the government bonds are going to go up, the movement of money in and out of the country is going to be extremely difficult. But fortunately, we haven't seen that. Our businesses are able to do trade with the rest of the world. And again, we are told that no, that has been priced in. But of course, it's not a desirable situation to find to be in as a country, because firstly, your reputation, it's not good. It shows that there are a lot of things that are happening, and of course, there's a lot of scrutiny that it's done when business deal with South Africa because of those risks that have been flagged. We are told that we could exit this greylisting by 2025. Some of the areas of concern have been addressed. The Minister of Finance certainly has indicated that they are quite happy with that progress. So we will see into 2024 if indeed that will materialize.
And Tshepo, we're out of time, and certainly one story, it's very clear that we're still going to be dealing with the SOEs. Case in point, you think about what's happening with SAA and whether or not some of those documents that Parliament is waiting for will come. So you've got your work cut out for you for next year. But let me thank you so much for your time. That is our economics editor, Tshepo Mongoai.